Hello, my friends. For today's sorry. For today's reading, we have the starfish, which of course is in the water element and is your significator. So let's see what it has to tell you. Beautiful, alluring, superficial, or shallow. Okay. The starfish is a natural and exquisite beauty, mesmerizing to all. Being around someone with starfish energy is a thrill, like you've been put under a spell of divinity itself. The problem is these creatures have been reliant on how they look and what other people think of them for so long that they may have forgotten their deeper callings. When this card appears, it's important to ask, am I being swayed by outward appearances? What dreams have I put aside to please others? When in balance, uplifting, artistic, and expressive. When out of balance, gossips and feels empty. To bring into balance, positive friends. So, it seems that you've gone a long way on your looks, or at least on appearances. And now you're being called to something else, but maybe you've already been doing some work on that, because your tea leaf cards, which are the cards that are here to tell you whether or not this is really your reading, suggest that you have been doing a lot of work. So first up, we have the kite, which is a vacation. The next card is deep personal strength and peace that assures success, which makes me wonder if your vacation was some sort of a retreat. Okay, and next we have vase, a secret admirer, and a successful outcome to your problems. So maybe you are having some problems in the romantic areas of your life, but it looks like the financial areas are going pretty well. You've got bread, a period of prosperity and abundance, and financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. So those are all very positive. I mean, they're each row is representing, so we have a personal development row, we have what seems to be a relationship row, although there's actually not a lot of indication, and of course prosperity or abundance, although all of this together is abundance. So, how are you feeling about things right now? We'll stick with the tea leaf cards for you. Apparently you're not feeling so positive. Or are you? Maybe you're feeling go back and forth. You have discord among friends, but you also have happiness. I mean, it's entirely possible to have discord with some of your friends and have happiness. News is on the way. Increase your efforts if you want to achieve your success. Or your goals, sorry. Climbing towards success. So you definitely have a lot on your mind in regard to success. I don't really have anything about what kind of success you're looking for. Money or property through an inheritance, winning, or windfall. Interesting. Because you also have financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. Well, that sounds very fortunate for you. And you seem to be expecting it, otherwise it wouldn't have come out this way. So this suggests this suggests a certain amount of luck Although you are definitely putting into some work here. Perhaps you are focusing on your career, your professional life, and that is where your source of happiness is right now. Since things don't seem to be going well with your friends, let's see what the universe thinks you need to concentrate on. So you may be having trouble containing your emotions. Perhaps a bit of obsession going on. Why is that sticking up like that? Oh, okay. Defiance. Loose cannon, risk taker. I think you need a little more self-control here, but you also have head of the pack. Successful, competition, drive, get it done, persistence, will to win, very motivated. What are you so motivated about? Well, that's an odd one to come out. Forgiveness, perhaps? Leap of faith? Oh, this is not expected. I didn't expect it. It says unexpected. A sudden ending, an accident, a cut, a release, harvest, liberate, shock, ripping off the band-aid, a reckoning. Yeah, I'm really leap of faith. But you have peace, miracles, protection, forgiveness, reconciliation, freedom. Seems you're in a complicated situation. I hope you're able to maintain that peace that came out in your first round. Yeah, you have a crossroads. Let's see what else. All right, so the fox is a little complicated because it's typically portrayed as very cunning, sneaky, because they are. They're intelligent, sneaky creatures who will sneak into your chicken coop and run off with your chickens. So people do not have a particularly good feeling about them. But they are stealthy, definitely. And they are looking out for themselves. Maybe that's what you're choosing here, or that's one of the options you're choosing. Do you choose yourself, or do you... maybe... I don't think you're going back to the status quo. I really don't. You don't have a single card here about going to the status quo. You have this Maverick card, which is the rule breaker, the nonconformist. Somebody who's willing and able to think outside the box. That's definitely not status quo. But you have those unhappy friends. Perhaps that's where the difficulty lies. If you are choosing yourself over your friends, maybe you've never done that before, and it's going to be a real shock to them. And it may cause an ending. So this is a scythe, so it can be a harvest, but what are you harvesting? That's interesting. So, you or someone you're interested in is a man, or identifies as a man. Oops. Yeah. Rider, messenger, movement. You want progress with this person. Or they want progress with you. You are this person. I'm not sure which. And I am mostly concerned with you. I don't do messages from your person because you can only control yourself, your own life, your own choices. You have to let them be free to do what they want and need to do. It's the only ethical approach, really. Anyway, it's the only realistic approach. Okay, so you definitely, oh, that's interesting. You definitely have, challenge the status quo. So something about your romance is definitely a challenge to the status quo. But you are finally seeing things clearly. This is a connection that you feel very passionate about. And it's wonderful that you have all the chemistry. I hope you also have communication. Yeah, especially if you're challenging the status quo, you're going to need good communication because it'll be difficult. And you, historically, maybe not anymore, but historically you've been very concerned about the opinions of others, to the point where you put their opinions above your own well-being. So this is going to be a big challenge for you. And I hope that you're ready for it. Let's see. My shaman cards are a little hard to reach right now, so I'm going to go with the Wisdom of the Oracle, which I've been avoiding somewhat because I think some of the cards are a little, I don't agree with them. But some of them are really good, so let's see what we've got. You got 2 cards out, and they're big cards, so I'm going to stack them that way. New life, no place like home. Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Honestly, it's making, well, never mind. All right, the numbers are 39 and 50. So 39, new life. Essential meanings: birth of new ideas, growth, opportunities, a breath of fresh air, life renewing itself. The Oracle's message: when spring awakens the world, joy and excitement can be felt all around and in your very core. Blossoms burst from the trees overnight, birds return home and sing their glorious songs, and nature is full of promise. Miracles beckon all of us. This is one of those times in your life when new ideas inspire you and new opportunities bring you hope for seeing your dreams come true. All is well in your world and you have the energy you need to feel renewed. Allow your heart to fill with enthusiasm. Let your light shine, for this is a time of good fortune. Protection message: you must acknowledge your inexperience and gently allow yourself to be like the delicate new bud opening. It's okay to admit you may not know something. You are at the beginning of things and haven't yet hit your stride. Be immersed in the newness of it all and don't try to rush the learning process. New life has its own timetable for maturity. Be here now. Life loves you. Okay, now 50. No place like home. You must be very homesick. Authenticity, coming home to yourself, feeling at home, arriving at a place where you just fit, being comfortable in your own skin. I'm really feeling like you've made a lot of progress on this front, like you really are feeling a lot more comfortable in your own skin. And it probably does feel like a new life to you. You've never lived this way before. The Oracle's message: home feels safe and secure. It's a comfortable place to rest and create, a place that is known and you can call yours. This card signals that your ability to trust yourself and feel at home in your own skin is beginning to solidify as you claim your dignity and integrity, aspects of yourself no one can take away from you. You know who you are. You hold your head high, yet with neither pride nor humility. Instead, you stand as the observer, seeing through the eyes of your soul. This puts you in a position of power and strength. Authenticity is your home, and you are safe here, in the house of your spirit and spirit, meaning the divine. Protection message: there are times when what is familiar and known is not the best choice. I think that is pretty clear here. Human beings are memory-driven creatures, and we all look for certainty for what we know, even if the qualities we seek in other people and in external conditions are expressed in unhealthy ways. Avoid being too eager to find home. Choose something unfamiliar and trust that there you will find a new normal that supports your spirit. Remember, if you do what you did, you'll get what you got. Do the opposite of what feels right, even if it's uncomfortable, because what feels right is really what feels familiar. And you will attract and be drawn to the very things you don't want anymore. This time will not be different unless you do something different. Yikes. I know what I want for you. Let's see if we can get one archetype card. Just one. Okay, the bridge. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay. And it is 38. I opened up to 28. Okay, 38. I keep getting the forest for you guys, but this time I got the bridge. This is interesting. Bridges are built to connect two worlds. They create flow, allowing us to travel between realms, ideologies, personalities. This archetype is a gesture of acceptance, of saying yes, rather than withdrawing, separating, and saying no. When we cross a bridge to an unknown land, we are led magically into a new reality. We open up to otherness. Healing and communication are made possible. We enter a state of curiosity, wonder, and learning. The shaman, for example, creates the bridge between the everyday world and the sacred. This card asks us to study the connections between the seemingly disconnected parts of our lives, relationships, ideologies, histories. Remember that a bridge can't be forced. It must be made with love, or its structure will not withstand the inevitable weather of life. It is also called the connection, the link, or the gate. When light, acceptance, magic, communication. When dark, lacking boundaries, forcing connection. Imagine building a bridge, then imagine building a wall. Which energy is needed for the situation at hand? Which image softens and heals the heart? Lie on the floor and listen to Bridge Over Troubled Water. Notice the ease and acceptance within the melody, the feeling of rising above the muck. Yeah, that's a really good song. Like a bridge over troubled water. Simon and Garfunkel. It's really good. I recommend it. And I think it is really wonderful that you are at the point where you can build this bridge. I am wishing you all the best.